Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for being here every time and giving so much love to all the episodes again and again. And again today, hopefully, and I'm very happy to have Manisha again, just joining me every time Manisha is here to help us out with some other topics. Thank you very much, Manisha, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure here as well, Lakshit.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for being here. So, yes, before starting today's topic, that would be great if you can speak about uh, what we're going to speak about. What is going to be the topic? What's going to be we are going to be around today.
Okay, so a topic that I really wanted to talk about for a very long time was toxic positivity. And toxic positivity, basically everybody's talking about positivity, you need to be positive, you need to think good and not think the negative, avoid thinking negative, and so on so forth. And a lot of people keep talking about it. There are so many groups that keep talking about, oh, just think positive, it's all rosy, everything is nice. And would like to call that positivity toxic. Okay, and so this is a reality because what happens is, when you're constantly avoiding negative, that doesn't mean that there's no negative. Okay, I'm going to quote Mark Manson here, who's the author of a very famous book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And he writes, any attempt to escape the negative, to avoid it or squash it or silence it, only backfires. The avoidance of suffering is a form of suffering. The avoidance of struggle is a struggle. The denial of failure is a failure. Hiding what is shameful is itself a form of shame. And I cannot agree any less with this, because this exactly is what is the trouble in the world. Because we're talking so much about everything being positive, and people are saying, oh, if you're going to think positive, you're going to manifest only the positive. That's yes, if you think positive, there's a part that you can really influence manifestation. When Bruce Lipton talks about that, your thought patterns influence your biology, that's not wrong. But just saying that, okay, no, I cannot feel anger, I cannot feel shame, I cannot feel any negative emotion about any other person, okay, that is denial of human experience. That is definitely saying that no, you cannot experience all the emotions which are there in the wide range of a human experience. So I would say that is absolutely inappropriate way of looking at positivity. Okay, and when we're talking too much of positive vibes only, think positively, talk to me positive only, that's too much of positivity. It's like sugar, that's too much sugar is also unhealthy, right? So basically that's something that I would really like to talk at length about.
Okay, yeah, and I do agree that as if salt or sugar gets more in your food, that's the same way positivity. Like you should know to have a balance of things, and of course, of
Absolutely.
course, of course, at a point of time, positive thoughts are going to be very, very helpful. But I recommend people who to even try being negative. Like if you have a problem, there are people who say, oh, please don't think negative, be positive about it. But when you have, when you're negative, when you are having a problem, and when you think negative, so your mind helps you to find solutions. And when you have that power of finding solutions, then you can go on being positive because you know the solutions, what problem can occur and how can I find that. So you can be positive after that.
Definitely. Definitely, we used to be taught like at school. So when I was back in school at that point in time, there was there was a very famous saying, and I always held on to it, during my life experiences, and I've kept it as a life lesson forever, which says that you always wish or think for the best, okay, and be prepared for the worst. So you have to strike a balance. Okay, you want the best, look out for it, you look out for good experiences, you do all your planning around, okay, what if this works? But if you are doing all your planning around only around what if it works, and you're not at all thinking about what if it doesn't, right? Then if it doesn't, that is a disastrous situation for you, right? If you're going out and if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to have a good experience, right? I'm going to go for a holiday, I'm going to be happy, and it's going to be a very cheerful situation for me. And when we do that, and when we're saying that, okay, this is what it is, this is how I'm going to have this. Okay, and when you go there and somebody pickpockets you, and you never thought about it at all, you never thought that there could be a thief, you never thought about that there could be a stranger, who'd cheat you on this journey. You would never be prepared for that, right? So you'll have to be prepared about that.
Yeah. So great. How would you define toxic positivity as?
Okay, so as I said, it's a overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state that results, in denial, in minimization, invalidation of the human experience, an authentic human experience. So we're basically trying to reject all the negative emotions there, right? So that kind of positivity is absolutely toxic. All right. So yeah, that is it.
Okay, and how does psychology, like how does psychology defines toxic positivity as?
That's what I just said.
Okay, okay.
Overgeneralization of the positive,
Okay,
right? So we're just saying everything is positive. So when we're not happy, we would say, "Oh, all's good, all's perfect."
okay.
Even if it is not. So there's this huge trouble with people. People asking, "Oh, how are you?" And the standard answer is, "I'm fine." Even if you're not fine, the
Yeah.
standard answer is just what is acceptable. So that is, even if it is not, because we are so now conditioned to reject any other experience than positivity,
Yeah.
right? So I am absolutely angry, okay, but if I'm displaying my anger, it'll be labeled as negative emotion, not acceptable. You as a therapist cannot have that, right? Even if I'm angry, I have all the right to be angry if something is
Yes.
like triggering that emotion in me. But that's my acceptance and understanding that, okay, even if something else is triggering it, the emotion is mine and I have to accept it. I just can't, oh no, I cannot be angry. I just take a deep breath and let it go. Yes, of course, that's one technique you can use to let it go, right? To calm yourself down, to let your body relax a bit and calm down a bit. You're trying to work with your body and your mind to reduce the effect of the negative. But just saying no, negative is not acceptable at all.
Yeah.
And let's say, for example, if I have to go out and if I'm not thinking about um, that, okay, somebody can rashly drive, so I have to be careful. If I'm not thinking about that thought that I might meet with an accident if I'm not careful, then I'll not be careful,
Yeah.
right? I'll
Yeah.
just be, oh, I am always going to be saved by the angels, and somebody is going to just lift me even if there is a car coming around. Of course, there could be miracles, but that does not mean that I'm going to rely on that all the time, right? I have to be, logical. I have to think that, okay, I have to walk on a, pedestal way, and I have to be more careful. I'm not saying people do not meet with an accident on, the footpaths, but at least that's the right way. That's how we have to follow. We don't have to walk in the middle of the road just because there are there are some spiritual beings around to save us. That doesn't mean that we have to take the risky path, right?
Yeah.
So
True. Very
that
well
has to,
said. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. And how would you define the signs of being positive toxically, how would you define that?
Okay, so the signs of toxic positivity would be that we're hiding or masking a true feelings. So that would be one sign. So even if I am angry, I'm not displaying it. I'm not telling people that I'm angry. Okay, even if I am feeling jealous about it. Okay, and that's a very common emotion that people mask, because they'll not say, even if they're jealous, that oh, Lakshya, that is such a young age, is creating all these videos and talking to all sorts of people around the globe, and I'm so jealous of him. They'll not show that to you. They'll just say,
Yeah,
okay, wow, you're doing a wonderful job. That's it.
that's
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh, but they're hiding their true feelings. They're not able to, oh, Lakshit, you're doing a great job at a young age. I'm a bit envious of you. Yeah, let's just say it, just accept it, right? So that is one. And then another one would be trying to just get on with dismissing the stuff. Okay, it's okay, it is let's just get on with it. We're trying to stuff things away. We're just trying to dismiss a certain emotion, right? In general, people would feel sad, and they would just say, no, it's just okay, maybe it's just uh, a passing emotion. It's going to pass. Let me just get busy with stuff. This is a standard advice. Somebody's dealing with an emotional crisis, and somebody's probably lost a loved one, had a long term relationship breakup, or lost a huge amount of money, and there'll be people advising, oh, just get busy with stuff and you're going to be fine. Don't think so much about the sad stuff. And this is a lot of people with symptoms of mild to moderate depression come and tell this to us, that family members would usually say, oh, you feeling sad, or you feeling low, or all this depression is because you're not doing anything. Right. So people would suggest those kind of things, and there would be people who would actually be doing that kind of things. So
mhm,
just thinking that, okay, no, just because I'm going to be doing something else, this particular emotion is not important, I just need to brush it away and get rid of this, that is another sign of toxic positivity. Then a lot of these positive talks create another complication, that is the guilt.
mhm,
People begin to feel guilty about feeling anything other than positive.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
feeling low, I'm feeling sad, but because I've been taught by the social media, by so and so gurus, by so and so thought leaders, that oh, you just have to feel positive and everything's going to be perfect in your life. So how can I feel negative, right? So you begin to feel guilty
yes,
about it.
yeah,
I cannot feel negative. I cannot feel sad. I cannot feel jealous or angry or greedy, right? All those are negative emotions, and I cannot allow myself to feel that. That is toxic positivity, because we are like I said, we are not allowing ourselves for that human experience, right? Then minimizing other people's experience, and this is something most of the people do, whether they apply so much positivity in their own life or not. They would just go ahead and tell people about it. They brag about, oh, positivity, the secret, the this and that.
yeah, yeah,
Right. So they would say, okay, okay, just feel good. They'll keep sending all those feel good statements, feel good. So
yes,
somebody is having a very difficult time adjusting in the new family, and there are people coming and telling that person, um, you need to feel positive, you're feeling absolutely negative, that's not fair. The moment you begin to feel positive, you're not addressing the issues, you're just saying you feel positive, the issues will vanish. The
yeah,
issues will not. You have to address them, right? So that is and I've had people tell me, oh, you need to feel positive, that I know of, and everybody's coming and telling this person that, oh, just feel positive, and your life will be best, and you have to just look at your responsibilities and your values, and everything else will fall in place. Even if something is not right, it will fall in place if you are thinking positive. It will not. This person is just standing up and addressing the issues that need to be worked upon by other people and not just by this person, right? But despite that, everybody around is coming back and saying, oh, you just feel positive, you just let the sadness, the anger, the frustration be put under the carpet, and just think positive, just think that everything is fine, and I am going to enlighten this whole place with positivity, and everything will fall in place, which is toxic, absolutely toxic.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Right. And also, then there are some other signs of toxic positivity when people are trying to give someone, like what I was just talking about, they're trying to give some people perspectives by saying it would have been worse. Okay, so somebody is, threatened for their life, and you think, oh, it would have been worse. You may not have been alive. That's insane, right? That's I'm saying something like that. If somebody is dealing with a certain emotion, we could say, oh, we are so sorry you had to experience this. We are here to listen to you, right? But we don't have time for that. Most of the people don't have time for that, right? And they would just say, oh, just forget it, let it pass, just think about other things, think about how many roses are there in your garden, don't think about that you were eve teased somewhere, just think about everything else but not the problem. That is very toxic, right? Shaming others for feeling, expressing their frustration or anything other than positivity, like this experience of the person that I was sharing. Everybody is just trying to shame this person, saying that because you are feeling negative, you are only thinking about, or you are only looking at what is not right. But you have to also look at what is not right. While
yeah,
you're trying to look at what is right, we have to not avoid what is wrong, right? So
yeah.
it's like, the whole of your house is clean, but if there are wires which are open, right? You're just saying, oh, the rest of the fittings are done, they're perfect, just ignore this. That can cause some shock to someone, right? You have to look at what is missing as well, right? And not just always see that what is available. Yes, definitely you have to have an attitude of gratitude. You have to focus on the positives also, and not only on the negatives, but also focusing only on the positives, and ignoring or just hiding away the negatives is very toxic, right? And as I said, brushing off things is also, that it is what it is, you just have to accept it, and that's a standard of what elders tell youngsters.
Yeah.
Newlyweds hear that very often, oh, jaisa hai waisa hai, you go on with that, go on with life like that. So all those are signs of toxic positivity, and we really need to avoid that. We need to have a balanced approach. We need to look at the positive as well as the negative, and we need
Mhm.
to be sure that nothing is overpowering the other, right?
Okay, yeah.
So neither the negative experience overwhelm you so much that you're not at all able to look at the positives. If you remember, we'd spoken about thought distortions, wherein there are people who would have those, and they would completely eliminate the positives, they would completely disregard the positives. So that is also wrong. But when that is wrong, it is also wrong to completely disregard the negative, because
Yeah.
that becomes toxic, right? So that is it.
Okay. And how does this become harmful? Like thinking positive
Hmm.
every time. How do you think?
Hmm.
Sorry. How did that becomes toxic?
So
And
like I
how,
said, it causes a lot of issues, right, with people, especially the two main things, which is shame and shame and guilt. These are two emotions which are literally boosted because of toxic positivity, right? So people would want to hide things, and people would want to not share their honest emotions, or people would actually feel guilty about their genuine emotions because of these. And I'm going to quote Bernie Brown on this, that the energy source of shame is silence, secrecy, and judgment, right? So when people are judging you constantly for having any other thoughts than positive thoughts, any other feelings than positive feelings, you begin to keep silent. You begin to hide away your feelings, so that secrecy and silence and judgment that causes shame. And when shame increases, it leads a person into becoming even more sadder or even more depressed, right? And anything that we're suppressing, right? And there are several studies, psychological studies around this, that whenever we're suppressing emotions, that is going to cause stress to increase in your body,
Yeah.
right? That leading to a lot of not just psychological issues but physical issues too, right? Some people gain weight, some people lose weight because of increased stress, right? Some people end up, when we say about all these lifestyle disorders, right? To the core of it is the increased stress levels, right? So all those things definitely are going to impact you adversely, right? People will begin to isolate themselves, right? People will begin to not connect with people, right? So isolation and relationship problems are also heightened because of toxic positivity to a great extent.
Okay, okay. And how to watch out? How to find solutions, and how you like how you or me, anybody who wants watching this or wants to know, how can they remove
Hmm.
this toxic positivity from their body, or from the
Okay.
mind?
Right. So, as I said a while ago, we need to strike a balance. We need to not just, use mental filtration either for the negative or for the positive. We have to equally evaluate this. The true way of problem solving is that when we are looking at both pros and cons, right? So, when you're buying a new gadget, you definitely go ahead and read the pros as well as the cons, right? You would not just say, okay, let me just read the cons only. You'd never buy anything. Or if you read the pros only, you just end up buying wrong stuff,
Yeah,
which may cause a lot of difficulty to you. Similarly, it's with the thoughts. When you are looking at a situation, the negative and the positive thoughts about the situation are equally important. You just have to allow the right emotion to stay, and let the emotion which is not serving you just pass, right? So when we are saying that, okay, I might I am going to win, right? So I've prepared myself and I'm just believing that I'm going to win a certain tournament or a certain competition, right? Or an exam. I'm going to definitely clear this exam. It's a good thing to have that thought. But if I do not have and this directly links with the increased student suicide rates, right? Because they are not prepared for what if this thing doesn't work. They do not think of the plan B,
yeah, yeah,
right? So we need to be sure that, okay, if this is what I am aiming for, this is what I would definitely want to work on, right? This is what I will get. But if this doesn't, then this is what I would pick up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That is very important. And I'll share one of my friends example here. So we were together in 12th grade, and this guy definitely wanted to become a defense personnel. Okay, so he wanted to serve the nation, he wanted to go in the army, and so he appeared for NDA exam. Okay, and that was his biggest aspiration in life. Like, we used to be awed, awe inspired with the kind of aspiration he had, and the passion he had to join the army. He gave his
Mhm.
NDA exam and he failed. Okay, and NDA gives you 3 attempts, and he failed all 3 attempts.
Okay.
Okay, and then he gave the OTA exams, which is the officers academy, and he cleared it, and he
Oh,
became an officer, and he
okay.
served his full term, and he retired already. Right? So that's how it is. So if you are determined to do something,
Yeah.
right, you will get through it. The positivity there works, so you do not give up on things. Resilience works, right? But if you would just say, oh, I failed, and that's a disaster, and then you do not have any other plans. This guy, when he flung NDA, he enrolled in a regular graduation course. He completed his graduation course while he continued to apply for his NDA exam. And despite flunging, he wasn't disheartened, right? he
Yeah.
he did not say that I'm not sad because I flung the NDA exam. He was very sad about it. He dealt with the emotion, right? And therefore dealing with the emotion actually strengthens you, encourages you, right? But if you brush off an emotion, it will be of no good, right? Because
Yeah.
it'll come back, right? And a suppressed emotion is like a suppressed itch. If you're not scratching your nose, the itch might happen somewhere else after a while. So you cannot avoid an emotion. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So accept
That's.
it, deal with it, and then move on, right? that
Yeah.
that would be the best way of it.
Yeah, I think what is going to come to you is nobody can steal it from you. Yeah, of course. And
Right, right.
maybe the friend which he aspired for something, he was not able to achieve it, but then he tried the other way and worked for the same inspiration he
Absolutely.
had to work for the country, do better for the country, and he did it, but not from the seeking
Right.
by
So
other thing. That's it. Yeah,
that's what it is, and maybe this person got a chance to get into the army, but even if he wouldn't have gotten into the army, he would have chosen some other field. See, it's about the passion,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you don't have to always be stuck to something, right? Madly, you need to be open to possibilities, right? And when we were saying that I would just want to get this only, and I'm only going to focus on this, that's fine, but that is also somewhere putting a lot of toxic energy into it, that because it will prevent the moment you fail, the moment it doesn't work, and when you're thinking so much positivity, you're avoiding everything negative, you are actually inviting the disaster for yourself. Then you're not at all then any negative human experience will weaken you, right? And that is not right. So we need to be sure that we are feeding on positivity, but not to an extent wherein it causes health issues for us. Right?
yeah. True.
So it's like feeding on sugar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, true. Yes, before ending this session, what would be your special message? Maybe same topic, about the topic, or maybe anything else you wish to live here. Please do go ahead.
No, so I would just like to, close this with saying that whatever your emotion is, there is a healthy way of dealing with that,
Yeah,
whether it's a positive experience, whether it's a negative experience, you know, and you can definitely have the strength to deal with it. Okay, if you feel that you overwhelmed by a certain emotion, try to develop a resilience. If you're not able to do it yourself, there are so many self-help books. If you're not able to do it with the self-help books alone, there are professionals to help you learn to grow, right? Without denying yourself of a human experience. Okay, so deal with the emotions. If you feel jealous, you deal with the emotions. Accept the emotion that yes, this is what I'm feeling, and then say, okay, no, if I am jealous with so and so person for so and so things, there are so many other things that I have which are equally precious. So I need not be jealous of the person. So that's why you're dealing with the thought, right? You're trying to work around the thought. You're not just saying, "Oh, I just cannot feel jealous. I just cannot feel anger," because that's wrong. So that puts a lot of pressure on you as a person, right? So deal with the emotions. Acceptance is the key. You have to accept it. You have to deal with it. You have to transform it, right? That would be it.
Yes, yes, yeah, true, true, and that just that's great. And I would also end up with this, that we as humans have to understand to just balance out things. If you want to be
Definitely.
positive, go ahead, but no to even,
Hmm.
like, it's not going to be every time. It's not going to be the way you look way things look up. It's not going to be the same end. So yeah, you just have to identify problems and be, balance out everything. So yeah, thank you very much for being here and helping us out.
Same.
And thank you for joining me again and again for a session and helping us out every time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's my pleasure, Lakshit. As I say always, it's wonderful to speak to you and be able to share whatever little knowledge that I have.
My
So
Yeah, it's my pleasure to even have you every time. It's you're there every time and coming here, speaking up, and every unique time. It's some of the other things. Again, it's really really wonderful. Thank you very much.